जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवन चारी यमुना तीरवन चारी यमुना तीरवन। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवन चारी यमुना तीरवन चारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम रामा हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Jaya Nitai Gaurango Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada
Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya, BBT founder Acharya, savior of the whole world, Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 3, titled Lord's Pastimes out of Vrindavan, text number 24. Puryam Kadachit Kridadbhihi Puryam Kadachit Kridadbhir Yadu Bhoja Kumarakaihi Yadu Bhoja Kumarakaihi Kopitaha Munayaha Shepuhu Kopita Munayashepur Bhagavat Mata Kovidaha Bhagavan Mata Kovidaha Puryam Kadachit Kridadbhir Yadu Bhoja Kumarakaihi Kopita Munayashepur Bhagavan Mata Kovidaha Puryam Kadachit Kridadbhir Yadu Bhoja Kumarakaihi Kopita Munayashepur Bhagavan Mata Kovidaha Puryam Kadachit Kridadbhir Yadu Bhoja Kumarakaihi Kopita Munayashepur Bhagavan Mata Kovidaha कुर्यां कदाचित् क्रीडाद्भिर् यदुभोजकुमारकैः मुनयः शेपुर् भगवन्मतकोविदाः कुर्यात् कदाचित् क्रीडाद्भिर् यदुभोजकुमारकैः कोपिता मुनयः शेपुर् भगवन्मतकोविदाः माते कुर्यां कदाचित् क्रीडद्भिर् यदुभोजकुमारकैः कोपिता मुनयः शेपुर् भगवन्मतकोविदाः. Word to word translation. Puryam, in the city of Dwarka, Kadachit, once upon a time, Kridadbhihi, by sporting activities, Yadu, the descendants of Yadu, Bhoja, the descendants of Bhoja, Kumarakaihi, princess, Kopitaha, became angry, Munayaha, the great sages, Shepuhu, cursed, Bhagavat, personality of Godhead, Mata, desire, Kovidaha, cognizant. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Once upon a time, great sages were made angry by the sporting activities of the princely descendants of the Yadu and Bhoja dynasties, and thus, as desired by the Lord, the sages cursed them. Translation with repetition. Once upon a time, great sages were made angry by the sporting activities of the princely descendants of the Yadu and Bhoja dynasties, and thus, as desired by the Lord, the sages cursed them. Purport. The associates of the Lord who were playing the part of princes of descendants of the Yadu and Bhoja dynasties were not ordinary living entities. It is not possible that they could offend any saintly man or sage, nor could the sages, who were all pure devotees of the Lord, be influenced to anger by any of the sporting activities of the princes born in the holy dynasty of Yadu or Bhoja, wherein the Lord himself appeared as a descendant. The cursing of the princes by the sages is another transcendental pastime of the Lord to make a show of anger. The princes were cursed in order that one may know that even the descendants of the Lord, who could never be vanquished by any act of material nature, were subjected to the reactions of anger by great devotees of the Lord. One should therefore take great care and attention not to commit an offense at the feet of a devotee of the Lord. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langahite girim yat kripata mahamande Shri Gurum Dinitarinam yat kripata mahamande Shri Chaitanya Ishvara. Hare Krishna. So today we are discussing the 24th shloka of third chapter of the third canto. This third chapter is talking about the discussion between Uddhava and Vidura, where Uddhava is recollecting different pastimes of the Lord, and here in this particular chapter he is recollecting the pastimes of the Lord out of Vrindavan. While recollecting those pastimes, now from this verse onwards, for next 4 verses and the next chapter also, will describe about how the Yadu dynasty, how the end of the Yadu dynasty came about. And today's shloka onwards, the next 4 shlokas are going to talk about the prelude to the overall destruction of the Yadu dynasty. And in today's shloka, it is being spoken about how by their sporting activities, the princely descendants, the young generation of the Yadu and Bhoja dynasty, how in their sporting mood they caused the great sages who were assembled there in Dwarka, they caused them to get angry by their sporting activities, and thus the sages ended up cursing these descendants of Yadu and Bhoja dynasties. So in the translation it is mentioned that it was desired by the Lord. Although the sages were made angry by the Yadu and Bhoja dynasty princes, by their sporting activities, by their casual talk, by their jokes, here in translation it comes about Bhagavan Matakovidaha. It is actually desired by the Lord. Bhagavan Matakovidaha. Once upon a time, in the city of Dwarka, Kadachit, the great sages who were assembled there, Munayaha, the great sages, they were made angry by the sporting activities, that is Kridat Bhihi, by whom? By the descendants Yadu and Bhoja, Yadu Bhoja Kumarakaihi, and this made the Munayaha, the great sages, to become angry, that is Kopitaha, and finally they cursed Shepuhu. They cursed the Yadu and Bhoja dynasties, and all this happened actually by the desire of the Lord. So here, and in many such situations where great sages have cursed some or the other personality, so how it has been taken, how it has been understood, and what is the reason behind that is the matter of discussion in Srimad Bhagavatam. Whenever a devotee is cursed by any sages, what is the reason behind it? The external reason, the internal reasons, the confidential reasons of the Lord. So all these are discussed, and there is a great learning for the devotees from these pastimes. We have heard about Parikshit Maharaj being cursed by Shringi, and how it was for a very ordinary kind of a mistake which was committed by the king. Although it was an insult to the to a great devotee, but still the mistake was not as great as the punishment was awarded to him by Shringi, or the curse was awarded. Right? So we see that how Parikshit Maharaj took it. Parikshit Maharaj took it as Lord's great mercy upon him, that for such a small mistake, if such kind of a curse has been put upon me, I am ready to accept it as a Lord's great mercy upon me. So devotees, when they come across such situations where there are a lot of challenging situations which come about in a devotee's life, generally devotees are supposed to take them in this kind of consciousness. We end up asking questions, why me? Why I am being troubled like this? Why this particular devotee is behind me? Why that particular group of devotees is behind me? Why are they treating me like this? Why there is partiality against me? Things like that may come in the minds of a devotee. But if we see the examples given in Srimad Bhagavatam, all these devotees, whoever have come across such curses, which seem to be not a very sensible curse for the mistakes that were committed, but how the devotees have taken it? The devotees have taken it that, yes, it might be a great mercy of the Lord. It is some purpose of the Lord which is getting fulfilled by putting me into this situation. And the devotee anticipates to learn the lesson that that the Lord intends to teach the devotee from that particular situation. Here also, as soon as the younger Yadus and the Bhojas, as soon as they heard about the curse which was put upon them, they immediately rushed back to the palace, to the king Ugrasena, and they approached him and they informed him about this. Ugrasena also did not immediately try to retaliate or go and approach the sages, including Narad Muni. Narad Muni was also part of the group of the sages. He did not run and go to the sages and ask him to remove the curse. He tried some ways to maybe delay the curse or things like that. They tried to crush that club which was found in the midst of Yadu and Bhoja dynasty princes. But they never thought of retaliating. That retaliation or defensive attitude against the situations which are being brought about by the Lord in a devotee's life, that is not the mood of devotees. The mood of the devotee is to accept whatever situation has been brought about in his life by the Lord and to try and learn all the lessons that the Lord intends the devotee to learn, and thus undergo the purification of all the anarthas that the Lord wants that devotee to undergo. And when a devotee does this, he comes out shining, he comes out a better devotee, and he becomes even more dearer to the Lord. That is what is the actual intention of the Lord behind all such situations. So any situation that comes to a devotee's life, there is a great learning that is supposed to be achieved by the devotee. Apparently, we may not be able to see that learning. We may not be able to see, or we may be able to only see the partiality or the mistreatment that is happening to me. We may be able to see only the injustice that is happening to me. Yes, all those things are maybe superficially visible things. But we have to, as devotees who have taken shelter of Krishna, as devotees who have taken shelter of a spiritual master like Srila Prabhupada, we should always contemplate upon what is the learning that Lord wants me to take from this situation. That should be the only contemplation of the devotee. Instead of counteracting the situation, instead of taking charge of the situation, at times it happens, अच्छा, मुझे ऐसे बोल रहा है, मैं भी दिखाता हूँ. I also know what all he has done. I can also list down many things. Correct? Or if there is something physical, a devotee may feel, I have also done gym long back. I can bring back all those things, all those techniques. Right? That attitude is not going to help to a devotee. Yes, apparently there is an injustice, apparently there is a mistreatment. But for me, as a devotee, what should be my attitude? What should be my disposition? In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Yasman no dvijate loko, lokan no dvijate chayaha, harsha marsha bhayodvegair, mukto yaha sachame priyaha. Yasman no dvijate loko. That means one who does not create any disturbance for other people. Yasman no udvijate. Udvijate means creates anxiety or generates disturbance to others. Udvijitaha. So Yasman no dvijate loko. And the second part is Lokan no dvijate chayaha. One who does not feel disturbance because of others' activities. Harsha, amarsha, bhaya, udvegai. Harsha, amarsha means whether it is happiness or whether it is distress, whether it is bhaya or whether it is udvega, whether you are fearful or whether you are angry, whatever it might be, who is harsha, amarsha, bhayodvegair, mukto yaha sachame priyaha. One who is free from all these things is extremely dear to Krishna. Krishna says he is priya, he is dear to me. So whenever a situation arises, we should remember this particular line, the second line of this shloka. Lokan no dvijate chayaha. I should not get disturbed. That is what Krishna wants me to do. And does Krishna also say that others should not disturb me? Krishna does not say that. Krishna says, you should not disturb others and you should not get disturbed by others. Krishna is not telling us what other people should do. Krishna is telling us what we should do. Yasman no dvijate loko. I should not create any disturbance to anybody and I should not get disturbed by anybody. Apparently there will be disturbances, but all those disturbances are an arrangement of the Lord for the sake of purification of the devotee. Correct? Anarthopasamam shakshat bhakti yogam adhokshaje. What is the purpose of practicing bhakti of adhokshaja? Anarthopasamam. All our anarthas should get upashamam. They should completely get uprooted from our heart. That is the ultimate purpose of bhakti. Purpose of bhakti is not to get emotions, bhava. Yes, that is also there. That will automatically come. Ultimate purpose is, first and foremost purpose is anartha upashamam. As we start our bhakti with little shraddha, and with that shraddha we associate with devotees, and then what we do? Adav shraddha, bhajana kriya, pardon? Adav shraddha, sadhu sangha, then bhajana kriya, and then what happens? Anartha nivritti. Correct? After that there are further steps. First what has to happen is anartha nivritti. For every devotee to reach up to the love of God, love of Krishna, first anartha nivritti has to happen. And how will anartha nivritti happen? Where it happens? Sadhu sangha and bhajana kriya. It has to happen in midst of devotees, when you are associating with devotees. It has to happen when you are performing devotional service. No, you are sitting alone in the house and anartha nivritti will happen? No. When you interact with devotees, anartha nivritti will happen. When you do devotional service, there will be situations where your anarthas will pop up. You will react to situations and you will come to know, yes, this is an anartha which is there in my heart. And there is an opportunity to do anartha nivritti. Then the devotee has to go back where? Increasing shraddha in the Lord, associating more deeply with the devotees, involving more rigorously in bhajana kriya. That is what is an activity of the devotee. That is what he should be doing. Whereas what happens? Whenever there is situation where there is possibility of anartha nivritti, we get disturbed, we stop sadhu sangha, and we stop bhajana kriya. We don't go to that service. We don't see face of that devotee. No, that is not going to help us. That situation has been brought about by the Lord for the purpose of purification. Anarthopasamam sakshat. It is for anartha nivritti. That is the main purpose. So, a devotee, he has to take these all situations in this stride. Always we have to understand that this is brought about by Lord, not by anybody else. Any situation in our life, it is brought about by Lord purposefully. And He has His own Bhagavan Mata Kovidaha. There is certain desire of the Lord. For that desire, this particular situation is being brought about. And that desire is nothing else but to take us back to home, back to Godhead at the end of this life. That is the commitment from the Lord's side. When we surrender unto the Supreme Lord, when we express our mood of surrenderance to the spiritual master or to the Supreme Lord, Lord takes it very seriously. It is a serious commitment from His side after that. Once a devotee comes and surrenders unto Him. Tomorrow the devotee should not say, Lord, I did everything, but you did not do your part sufficiently. You did not help me with purification. I was trying so hard, you were not helping me. So Krishna does not leave even a little bit of, he'll not leave his, little bit of efforts also he'll not leave. He'll put all his efforts, all resources, all facilities, all situations, everything will be given to a devotee. All protection also will be given. It is now up to the devotee to avail all those things and try and work on his anartha upasamam, anartha nivritti. But generally what happens? We get disturbed, we get distracted, we get annoyed. We feel that people are plotting against me to disturb my devotional life. What have I done to them? Correct? So, with this kind of attitude, we will never be able to advance in Krishna consciousness. We will stagnate. Or at times, we will even leave Krishna consciousness and go away. So, every devotee has to understand that there is Bhagavan Mata Kovidaha whenever there are certain pleasant and unpleasant interactions between devotees. Lord is going to use all of us only. He is going to engage all of us only to purify all of us. Because that is where purification can happen. If we go outside with karmis, Lord will, maybe at times He will engage karmis also to purify us, but very less. Devotees community itself is sufficient. If we are not learning lessons here, then maybe Lord will use some karmis also. Sometimes some karmi will also nicely give understanding to us. So then we will realize, I have to be like a devotee, I have to behave. That karmi will come and tell us. Isn't it? But within the devotee community itself, there is a lot of opportunity for fulfilling the required anartha nivritti, completing the anartha nivritti that is required in this life. So devotee should grab that opportunity. He should not leave that opportunity. And in this purport, another very important fact which Srila Prabhupada brings about is the last line of this purport. One should therefore take great care and attention not to commit an offense at the feet of a devotee of the Lord. Why? Why it is mentioned? Yes, the princesses were cursed in order that one may know that even the descendants of the Lord, who could never be vanquished by any act of material nature, were subjected to the reactions of anger by great devotees of the Lord. One should therefore take great care and attention not to commit an offense at the feet of a devotee of the Lord. We are also all, we have got a wonderful protection from Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra and Srila Prabhupada. They have assured us of all the protection. We are also invincible. कुछ नहीं हो सकता. अभी हमारा हमारा पास्ट कर्मा भी बहुत ज्यादा कुछ हमारे ऊपर इफेक्ट नहीं कर सकता. Some glimpses of karma we will keep getting. We are fully protected by the Lord. But if we do certain activities which generate anger in the great devotees of the Lord, in the minds of other devotees, if we tend to commit an offense at the feet of the devotees, then there will be danger which will be looming upon us. So Vaishnava Aparadha, committing an offense towards a devotee, is the only thing that can destroy us. It's the only thing that can cause havoc in our life. Otherwise, external things cannot so much disturb us. Not so much. It's Vaishnava Aparadha. It is the dealings between the Vaishnavas. When we don't deal with Vaishnavas properly, when we are disrespectful towards Vaishnavas, is when we are in great danger, actually. There is a shloka where 6 types of offenses towards a devotee are described. Okay, we will just see that shloka and the offenses that are mentioned there. It says, Hanti nindati vaidveshti Vaishnava nabhinandati Krudhyate yati no harsham darshane patanani sat. What is it? Hanti. Hanti means one who kills a devotee. Literal meaning is one who kills a devotee. Yes, there is physical killing also, but kills a devotee, like killing could also be disturbing another devotee's spiritual life. A devotee is peacefully practicing his devotional life. We go and simply create disturbance in his life. We go and comment on him something. We try to judge the devotee. Right? We try to, in the sense, we try to joke about a devotee. And the devotee gets disturbed and he comes into anxiety or disturbance. That is as good as killing the devotee. Atmaha, you would have heard this definition, Atmaha, Prabhupada talks about. Atmaha means killer of the soul. Killer of the soul is a person who denies or deprives a person of the opportunity for spiritual progress. Right? So by putting another devotee into anxiety, by creating problems for another devotee, by disturbing him or passing loose comments which disturb a devotee, we are actually kind of killing that devotee. We are creating disturbance in his spiritual progress. So that is a great offense. It is as good as killing that devotee. So we should not talk such language which will disturb that devotee, which will be kind of an allegation on the devotee. Right? So we should be very careful what kind of talk I have about a Vaishnava, what kind of discussions I have about a Vaishnava, what kind of addressals I use for a Vaishnava. We should be very careful. At times, while joking, while being playful, we may inadvertently use certain words which will cause a hurt to a Vaishnava. So we should be very careful. That is as good as killing a Vaishnava, and it is considered as an aparadha. Okay? So hanti, nindati, criticizing a Vaishnava. Criticizing is not every devotee's responsibility. There are devotees who have that as a service, to find faults in a Vaishnava, to correct him, to criticize him for certain activities and dealings. There are certain devotees who have been assigned that service. But otherwise, as devotees, we should not be criticizing each other. That criticism is not taken very well by the Lord. The Lord is very upset with such criticism. Because it is the Lord only who is aware of the devotee's actual progress that has happened. We are just seeing maybe some few years of devotional progress of that jiva. Lord is aware how much this devotee has struggled in his maybe previous lives and come to this level of Krishna consciousness. So we criticizing a Vaishnava based on his current situation only is actually not a valid criticism. Also, we should not try to correct a Vaishnava unless we are assigned that service, criticizing or correcting. Just like when we go to a hospital, suppose I have a disease, I go to hospital, and instead of taking my treatment, I go bed after bed, cabin after cabin, and I keep on seeing what is this problem of this person, what disease this person has, how to cure this person. Go and tell the doctors, please take care of this. This is what is the problem this person has. No, that is not my job in the hospital. Correct? Hospital, if I go there, I should be taking my own treatment. Yes, I can have empathy for others for their problems. That's all that we can have. I can feel compassion for the problems that they are going through. But I cannot try and help those people to cure their disease. What I should do? Okay, whoever is the doctor assigned to this person, maybe I can go and give some suggestions or whatever observations I have about that particular patient, I can go and tell if the patient is not able to. Similarly, in devotee community, instead of criticizing or finding faults in a Vaishnava, if at all anything has come to your observation, you should go and tell it to a devotee who is authorized to handle such issues for that particular devotee. Instead of we ourselves talking about it in the devotee community or spreading about it, or we getting disturbed by it. Oh, what is this devotee? He always keeps on doing like this. It is causing me disturbance. Right? Instead of that, what we should do? We should go and inform that thing to an appropriate authority and leave it at it. We cannot do more than that. That is not our purpose in this Krishna consciousness movement. Our purpose is my own purification. Every jiva's purpose is my own purification. If at all I see any mistake in another devotee, I should feel compassion, I should feel empathy, and I should report it at appropriate levels. That's all that I should do, nothing more than that. Neither I should get disturbed, I definitely should not take any actions on it. I should never take any actions on it. So, nindati is very important one. We should not engage in criticism of Vaishnavas. Dveshti, that means being envious of Vaishnavas. Somebody does some nice collection, some donation, and his name appears in the list, and his name is declared, and a big amount comes in his name. Immediately we say, अरे मेरा तो इससे ज़्यादा होता है, ये कभी कभी करते हैं लोग. Mine is regular, I keep doing. Or somebody may be a very good kirtaniya. Some new budding kirtaniya does one kirtan very nice, everybody appreciates. And this established kirtaniya, seasoned kirtaniya, he will start feeling, ये तो आते जाते रहते हैं ये छोटे बच्चे. Isn't it? That is enviousness. Feeling of enviousness towards Vaishnavas. Or for that matter, I am a better cook, I am a better practitioner in sadhana. Others are not able to do their sadhana well. I am doing perfect 100% sadhana. And I start criticizing others. I look down upon others. Or if I am a very good cook, collars are always up, thinking that nobody can cook as good as me, as fast as me, as many varieties as me. So all these things, they stem out of enviousness towards other devotees. It is cause of enviousness. So this enviousness, dveshti, is an offense towards a devotee. We may feel it is an ordinary thing, it is a regular dealing. No, it is an offense. Criticism, creating disturbance, and what is it? The next one was dveshti, being envious towards a devotee. So these are offenses. Then the next offense is Vaishnavan nabhinandati. That means whenever we see a Vaishnava, we don't wish a Vaishnava. We don't offer obeisances. We don't offer obeisances to a Vaishnava. Either obeisances or respects. At times we get so familiar with Vaishnavas, we don't even say Hare Krishna to each other when we cross each other. Isn't it? So that respect for a Vaishnava should always be maintained. We should, for a senior Vaishnava, we should try and pay obeisances. If not, at least if you are in public, at least say Hare Krishna. Bend down a little, say Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna Mataji. That obeisances is an extremely essential element of our devotional life as a devotees. Paying obeisances to other Vaishnavas, especially senior Vaishnavas, is extremely essential. If we don't do that, it is an offense. If not, if the situation does not grant paying an actual obeisance, a physical one, at least in mind you should pay an obeisance. In fact, it is said that in the mind we should worship Vaishnava's lotus feet. It is said, but yes, we are not all that qualified Vaishnavas. So at least let us respect each other. At least in mind let us pay obeisances. At least say Hare Krishna to each other. If we don't feel like saying Hare Krishna to a devotee, then we are offending that devotee. If we don't feel good seeing a Vaishnava, means we have offensive mentality against that Vaishnava in our heart. Then the next one is Krudhyate. If we get angry at a devotee, for whatever reasons, getting angry at a devotee is an offense. So that also we have to be very careful. Yes, as we discussed, there might be some unpleasant exchanges, but we have to understand that in Vaishnava community, nobody is here to gain something out of in this devotee community. We are not behind positions, we are not behind wealth and all those things. There is nothing that a devotee is going to steal from you. So there is nothing to be angry about a devotee. Even if there are differences of opinions, there is nothing to be angry about it. Differences of opinions could exist. At times, to straighten up a devotee, to bring him to a proper consciousness, yes, there might be some anger, some scolding required. But that is only incidental. We cannot be angry with a devotee perpetually. 5 साल पहले मेरे साथ इसने ऐसे किया था, अभी तक मुझे याद है. एक मौका ढूंढ रहा हूं बस में. I am just searching for an opportunity. We cannot keep it in our mind. The longer we keep it in our mind, the heavier that load becomes and we will be crushed under that load. So anger should be an objective anger, maybe related to an incident. It can be, it could pop up in our minds, but we should not carry that anger, carry hatred towards Vaishnavas for very long. It may come out of instincts, but it should go away also very quickly. We should not keep it at heart. And then there is no harsham, correct? Krudhyate yati wo no harsham. And that is, if we don't feel joy upon seeing a Vaishnava, that is also an offense. We should actually be feeling great joy when we see Vaishnavas. It's a very rare population of devotees. It's very, very rare to find this population of devotees. We should feel encouraged, we should feel lively when we see some Vaishnavas. When we see each other, we should greet, we should be happy to see a Vaishnava. If we don't feel like that, that is an offense. So we should keep our hearts so free from all these things about the anger, hatred, enviousness towards devotees, so that naturally there will be at least a smile upon our face when we see a Vaishnava. If we have so many issues with that Vaishnava, naturally that happiness, that smile, that Hare Krishna won't come out. But if we are clearing all those issues time and as and when they come, and we are clear in our heart, clear in our mind, that this Vaishnava anyways is a great devotee, he has surrendered his life to the Lord, he has given his life to the Lord, I should have respect for this Vaishnava. Yes, there could be some incidental differences of opinion, some issues in between us, but that should not be the cause of disrespecting that Vaishnava or not having the understanding of proper value of that Vaishnava. So a devotee should be always feeling happy when he sees a Vaishnava. So, Hanti nindati vai dveshti Vaishnava nabhinandati krudhyate yati no harsham darshane patanti sat. Harsham darshane patanti sat. If we don't follow all this, or if we commit all these offenses, we are bound to fall down from our spiritual position. It will cause a fall down in our life. It will cause hindrances in our spiritual progress. It will put speed breakers to our advancement in spiritual life. So you should be very careful about all these offenses. And then there are, just a second. So also we at times we see, we start looking at devotees and we categorize devotees and start looking onto them. Okay? We say, okay, he is a folk, he is a congregation, I am a full-time missionary, I am a sannyasi, I am a grihastha, I am a brahmachari. Okay? Being a brahmachari, I am the topmost. Maybe grihasthas, because they struggle a lot and still practice, they think themselves to be topmost. A congregation feels I am much better after with job and everything I am coming and doing more sadhana than others. A folk boy also may feel sometimes I am a better devotee, a better folk boy than other folk boys. So all these comparisons will also lead to offenses. These are not the categories which are there in our, should be in our spiritual life. The categories given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are only 3 categories. And the shloka describing those 3 categories is Ataeva yara mukhe ek Krishna naam Seita Vaishnava karihat tahara samman. Who is a Vaishnava according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? From whose mukha you have heard one Krishna naam. Even if once he has chanted Krishna, he is considered as a Vaishnava. Devotees here are chanting every day 16 rounds, 20 rounds, 32 rounds. Some chant 64 rounds. Definitely they are Vaishnavas. There is no question about them being called as Vaishnavas. So that should be our thought process. Instead of categorizing as folk, congregation, FTM, sannyasi, grihastha, brahmachari. Okay, these are all for vyavaharik purposes, for certain organizational thing, that's all. But in my heart, it should be a Vaishnava. This is he or she is a Vaishnava. If even once they have uttered Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then next, Krishna Nama Nirantara Yahara Vadane Sei Vaishnava Shrestha Bhaja Tahara Charane. Krishna Nama Nirantara Yahara Vadane. One who is chanting continuously, keeps on chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Krishna's name is always on his tongue. What we should do? What we should call him? Sei Vaishnava Shrestha. He is an advanced devotee. Vaishnava Shrestha. And what we should do? Bhaja Tahara Charane. We should worship their feet. Isn't it? We should worship their feet. Be it a folk boy, be it congregation, grihastha, brahmachari, sannyasi, whoever it is. If he is chanting regularly, if there is Krishna Nama on his tongue always, then he is a Vaishnava Shrestha. He is not just a Vaishnava. He is a Vaishnava Shrestha as per Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying this. Then, Yahara Darshane Mukhe Aise Krishna Naam Tahara Janiha Tumi Vaishnava Pradhan. By having darshan of a devotee, if Krishna's name comes on your tongue, then such a Vaishnava is a Vaishnava Pradhana. He is the topmost Vaishnava. By Srila Prabhupada's mercy, whatever this attire we have got, people say Hare Krishna when they see us. But it is actually brought about by Prabhupada. Correct? Prabhupada's attire was such that whenever people used to see him, they used to say Hare Krishna. He made even Westerners chant Hare Krishna. So that is the level of a Vaishnava, by seeing whom naturally Hare Krishna comes to mouth. Naturally Krishna Nama comes to somebody's mouth. That is called as a Vaishnava Pradhana. Topmost Vaishnava. And the actual nomenclature is given. Krama Kari Kahe Prabhu Vaishnava Lakshana Vaishnava Vaishnavatara Ara Vaishnavatama. There are three categories of Vaishnavas. Vaishnava, Vaishnavatara and Vaishnavatama. Vaishnava, Vaishnavatara, Vaishnavatama. There is no a-Vaishnava within community. There is no folk, there is no congregation, there is no Grihastha, Brahmachari, full-time missionary. These are not the categories among Vaishnavas. These categories are for organizational reasons. We should keep it there, that much. As full-time missionaries, we should feel fortunate that by Lord's mercy, by Prabhupada's mercy, we got an opportunity to give up all the material engagements. We got that opportunity. It is not that we have given up and we got that courage, that power to give up all of Maya's entanglements. No. We got that opportunity. We are fortunate that Prabhupada gave us that particular courage, that particular strength to take up this kind of life. And we should feel compassion for others who are trying to do. Not that an FTM is a privileged life, or a congregation is the section on which rest of the temple is dependent upon. No. It is a coexisting society that we have. So Vaishnava, Vaishnavatara and Vaishnavatama is the only categorization that is there amongst us. Rest all is only and only for organizational purpose. We should keep it only at that level. We should not bring it in midst of services. We should not bring it in midst of our dealings with Vaishnavas. So that should be the attitude of a devotee. One in whose mouth the name of Krishna has once appeared is a Vaishnava. We should honor them. One in whose mouth the name of Krishna always appears is a superior Vaishnava. We should serve their feet. And one by whose presence the name of Krishna appears in the mouth of other souls is a superlative Vaishnava in gradation. And they are called Vaishnava, Vaishnavatara and Vaishnavatama. That is what is the advice of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then another place, Prabhu kahe yar mukhe suni ek bar, Krishna nama pujya sei shrestha sabakar. Ek Krishna nama kare sarva papakshay, nava vida bhakti purna nama haite hoy. Diksha purascharya vidhi apeksha na kare, jivha sparshe achandala sabara uddhare. Anusanga phale kare samsare rakshay, atayeva yar mukhe ek Krishna nam, sei Vaishnava kari tara paramasamman. Paramasamman, that should be the level of respect and devotion, respect and gratitude that we should have towards other Vaishnavas. Whether it is a folk, whether it is a congregation, whether it is full-time missionary, grihastha, brahmachari, sannyasi, each one of them should be offering paramasamman to others, considering all of them to be Vaishnavas. Correct? And yes, all the great qualities actually are very soon they appear in the body of a devotee or in the life of a devotee. So even if we come across some situations or some habits of a devotee which we know that he had these kind of habits in his past life, we should not keep on thinking about those habits of that Vaishnava. Or if we see a Vaishnava performing certain mistakes while practicing his devotional life, we should understand that this is some residual anartha that is left in him. It will go away if that devotee keeps practicing Krishna consciousness sincerely. Those anarthas also will go away very soon. So we should have that kind of disposition towards Vaishnavas whom we apparently see committing some mistakes. Or we know that they have committed certain mistakes in their a few years back or maybe in their previous life before coming into Krishna consciousness. What does Lord say about a devotee who commits abominable mistake? Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. So according to Krishna, a person who has committed an abominable mistake, a devotee, but still he is continuing his devotional life, then still he is sadhu for Krishna. So in our mind also, we should have that respect. We should continue to have that respect for that devotee. We should help that devotee to correct his mistakes. Yes, if there is possibility, if there is opportunity, we should help. We should support. We should show certain empathy towards that devotee. But we should never criticize, or we should never keep that in mind that this is what this devotee is. We should not stamp that devotee with it. Because anybody who is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, there is constant purification that is happening. One day that devotee will be situated very well in Krishna consciousness. What is the next shloka after this Apichet Suduracharo? Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat shantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. My bhakta is not going to get lost. He is not going to get defeated. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. Very soon he will be reinstated. So we also should have that faith on the other Vaishnavas. There will be so many faults that we will see in Vaishnavas. And we will feel like not associating with him, not associating with her, always problem creator, this, that. So many things we will have in our mind. Keep aside all that. Understand that he is a Vaishnava. What we have to do? Paramasamman. We should respect them greatly. And whatever mistakes that are there, whatever are appearing right now, those are all residual mistakes. Bhakti is doing work on that particular devotee. Bhajana Kriya is working upon him. Anartha Nivritti will happen. And very soon he will be reinstated as a good devotee. So we should have that hope. We should not give up on devotees. We should not cast devotees. ये तो ऐसे ही है, इसका कुछ नहीं होगा. अगर chanting करेगा, कुछ ना कुछ तो होगा आगे चल के, कभी ना कभी तो होगा. And according to Krishna, very soon it will happen. If the devotee keeps chanting, if he continues his devotional service, very soon change will happen. The change of heart, transformation, everything will happen in his life. So these were some of the important factors that the situations in our life that come across are all Bhagavat Mata Kovidaha. They are all brought about by Krishna. And our disposition should be, what is the lesson that Krishna wants me to learn from all this? And when those situations come, they will mostly come between devotees, within the devotee community, while doing our devotional service. So we should not get discouraged. We should not develop an offensive mentality. But we should have proper consciousness, proper understanding, and we should always try to learn the lesson out of it and come out as a better devotee using every situation that comes into our life. In outside world, people say that they say some statements that if any hurdle comes, use it as a platform to jump or climb, something like that they say. Stepping stones, they call it. Hurdles, instead of hurdles, you call them as stepping stones. Actually, that does not apply in the karmi world. It is not so. Actually, it does not apply. Hurdles means they are hurdles because of our karma. But in spiritual life, every hurdle, every unpleasant situation, every unpleasant interaction is actually a stepping stone. If we learn something, we can progress and develop ourselves in Krishna consciousness. And while doing this, we have to be very careful that we should not develop any enviousness, any anger or hatred, any bad feelings, ill feelings about Vaishnavas. And we should always have that great respect for Vaishnavas from so-called different categories that we have for organizational reasons. We should always carry that respect for all the Vaishnavas. So these were some of the points. If anybody has anything to add or anybody has to ask anything. Yes, Dinabandhu Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for quoting so many verses on Vaishnava dealings. So that shloka which you mentioned, Prabhu, that Hanti Nindanti. So when there are some minor issues between devotees, they don't speak for some time and time will heal and then they will reconnect. But when, as you said, this Hanti is a very strong word and sometimes extreme kind of things also happen. So others and even naturally Lord also will forget and forgive also. But the person who has been the victim kind of, so how does he cope up with that situation or the devotee?
Yeah. Yes, whenever it happens, it's very good to say when sitting on this dais that we should not get affected. But based on our anarthas, based on our situations, based on the consciousness that we are carrying, we do get affected. It really affects when somebody speaks something harshly, when somebody criticizes, when somebody does not respect or does not even recognize us. It definitely hurts. But we have to see it like any other anartha that is there within us. Say lust. We have been working on lust since the beginning days of our Krishna consciousness. We have been struggling with it. We have failed miserably. We have risen to the occasion. We are trying. We keep trying. Similarly, in such situations also, we will get affected. In some situations, that effect will be there for a longer duration. In some situations, we may be able to come out of it very soon. In some situations, it will create deep, very deep impact and it will disturb our spiritual life like anything. So a devotee has to remember that even though it has affected me, the effect is at my mental level, at my intellectual level and ego level. As such, the soul is not affected. So I have to somehow or other keep on empowering the soul by engaging more consciously in devotional service, by engaging more consciously in the rest of the sadhu sangha, at least other devotees at least. So the more conscious we are for every activity that we are engaging in, there will be chances of recovering faster. Obviously, if you keep delving upon that particular issue only, if you keep contemplating that issue alone, then it will be very difficult to recover. But acknowledging that yes, this issue has disturbed me a lot, I cannot keep on contemplating or just getting affected by that. Now I have to focus positively on other aspects of devotional service which will help me to raise my consciousness. And with that raised consciousness, very soon we will be able to come out of such situations. So, and if it is still affecting, we have to further intensify our activities that will help our building of consciousness. That is the only way to come out of it. Otherwise, our mind and intelligence and ego, when they get hurt, and if we are not able to overpower them intellectually, philosophically, then it's very difficult to come out of it. Because that is the seat of all the things. We are studying Bhagavad Gita, it's an intellectual input to us. It's a philosophical, intellectual input to us. Correct? Chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it's a mental purification that is happening. But if the mind and intelligence itself are affected, they will not be focusing on these things. We will not be able to peacefully read Bhagavad Gita. We will not be able to chant properly. So those things will not affect us. So during those times, we have to intense engagement in devotional service and somehow or other associating with some other Vaishnavas with whom we feel better is the only opportunity for us to come out of it. If we go into a cocoon and stop interacting or stop doing devotional service, which our mind will tell us, oh, better I keep away. Like this only other Vaishnavas also will do to me. So then that we will not be able to come out of that cocoon. It will become very difficult. We have to associate with some Vaishnavas. We have to continue doing our devotional services, intense devotional services in fact. That is what will very soon bring us out of it. So that help we have to give ourselves. We have to seek that help from Vaishnavas. If we are not able to get ourselves, we have to seek from Vaishnavas. So then we will be able to definitely come out. It has happened with me. I have tried this and I have failed at it and I have learned, and now at least I am able to manage much better than what it was few years ago or a decade ago. So every devotee goes through this, every devotee goes through such situations, but we have to keep working. And that is why Prabhupada has created this society where there is a sadhu sangha. It's a team of devotees that is available. Maybe we are facing issues with one or two or maybe few of them. A few others are available. We may be facing issue in certain service. Many other services are available. So we should not, because of certain unpleasant situations, we should not give up on service. We should not give up on association. These are the only things that can help us to come out of anartha. Nothing else. Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. That only leads to anartha nivritti. So these two things we should never give up in our life. Chanting may get disturbed. Correct? Your understanding of Bhagavad Gita may get disturbed. Your reading may get disturbed. But services we should never give up. We should never give up association of devotees. Some or the other devotee we should find and associate. Okay? Anything you want to add about this?
I just want to, that there is one extreme example of Ashwatthama killing Arjuna's children, all the 5 Pandava children. So that time, because they are pure devotees, they could forgive Ashwatthama very easily. They just left him because he's Guru's son. But when we just hypothetically put us in such kind of extreme situation, then we might not able to follow the same. So that is my whole question, that how do we do this?
Given our current situation, our current status of consciousness, we may not be able to. That is why Krishna has not even given that problem to us. Because he knows that at our current level of consciousness, we may not be able to handle. Krishna will give only what we will be able to handle. He will test us for what we have prepared ourselves for. Krishna will not test us for what we are not ready. How he will test? What standing he has. So he will send the tests for which we have prepared. Now it is a test, actual test for us. I have prepared for this. Now there is test. I am saying that I have become very humble. Now there will be a test for the humility. If I fail, that means, there is little more time. So Krishna will also understand, okay, this test he has failed means I should not give higher level test. So Krishna will wait further. When you get confidence that you are ready for next level, then Krishna will bring about that test. That test also for what? For us to gauge where my anartha is standing. So that example, that extreme example of Pandavas, yes, Krishna confidently gave it to Pandavas. And they passed it with flying colors. Although there is a discussion in Bhagavatam about what all things happened there, how Bhima was angry, what was Arjuna's feeling, finally how Draupadi convinced all of them. Correct? That give and take and that discussion, that clashes happened between them. It was not so easy a decision to just forgive them. But they could do it because their level of consciousness was that. And Krishna also confidently gave that problem to them because he was confident of their level of consciousness. For us, Krishna will give tests what we have prepared ourselves for, not more than that. But Krishna will help us to prepare further also. He will show us in mirror. You claim yourselves to be humble. You claim yourselves to be very compassionate. This is what you are. Report card, samne aa jayega turant. So then we will feel, still I have to work. If at all we learn that lesson out of it, we will know that we have to work a little more on it. So that is what happens. So all the tests are based on our readiness. It is not, Krishna is not a cruel person. Some religions say that whatever is happening with people is, God does it like that. A child dies, God is like that. We don't know why the child died. No, we know why certain things happen in devotee's life. Krishna brings about based on that devotee's consciousness level, based on that devotee's karmic levels. Based on all these things only Krishna brings about. It's not whimsically, it is not happening. For Yadus, this kind of curse and dying, fighting between themselves, that is Krishna's plan, because nobody else can kill Yadus. Nobody else can kill Bhoja dynasty. They have to kill themselves only and die. And Krishna does not exclude himself also from this situation. He also dies with the same this thing. From that one of those pieces itself is the arrow is made, and Krishna also leaves the planet, leaves this material world using that particular situation only. So Krishna also does not exclude himself in that situation. So that is how Krishna is. He will never give some challenge or some test for a devotee which the devotee is not prepared for. And he will be with the devotee all the time. He will not leave us and okay, let the devotee struggle. No, Krishna will always be there to guide, handhold, support, intellectually, mentally, physically, all sorts of support he will provide. Just that the devotee has to be ready, he has to keep himself open to accept all that support and guidance. Okay? We'll stop here, it is already late. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, विश्व गुरु शील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल, हरे कृष्ण.